So my last video got a ton of heat from people who love the UFC. There were tons of comments that said stuff like, to be a UFC fighter, you have to train, and you gotta be in shape. No shit, Sherlock. I understand that. Some commenters even said crap like, being violent and letting out your aggression is the key to peace and prosperity. I mean, that's a total retard statement right there. So apparently, there's a UFC fighter that has his computer science degree from IT Tech or some crap. I know this because dozens of people commented on this. I guess it's the goon at 44 seconds in my last video. I could be wrong on the timestamp. Anyways, he has his bachelor's degree, and now he's a fighter. That just goes to show you that he couldn't keep up with his competition in the computer science industry. So now he's got to be a fighter, and he's fighting like a peasant would, back in the Roman gladiator times. I mean, this guy is the definition of a loser in his industry. Okay, there's the doof brute right there. Does this guy strike you as like an IT guy? Does he look like he's good at computer science? No, he looks like he's really good at being a monkey. I mean, I wouldn't give my computer to this dude and be like, hey, fix it. Would you trust this guy? He doesn't look like he'd be a techie dude, right? That's probably why he failed in the industry, and he had to join the UFC because he had to make money somehow, right? I mean, fighting was probably the very first ancient form of entertainment for all the cavemen back in the days. You know, they got in a circle, they grunted, and they knocked the snot out of each other while the other cavemen watched. Did they need to go to college? Did they need brains and smarts? No, it was just their primal instinct kicking in. You know, this is what they said in their head when they were fighting. They were like, oh, beat ass, punch here, kick there. Yeah. There was another comment that said, so-and-so, the UFC fighter, he's a multi-millionaire. Yeah, so what? That's all well and good. To earn that millions, he had to literally take a massive, brutal beating. I mean, he got black eyes, he got cuts, he got head trauma, brain injury. Like, if somebody said, hey, I'll give you $2 million if you cut off all your fingers on live TV. Who would agree to something like that? Only the people who needed the money, and they had no other means of getting that money. The losers. I mean, like, I wouldn't agree to that crap. So it's $2 million, but you literally lose a part of yourself. Your fingers are gone. You cut off all your fingers for the entertainment of other people. That's losing your dignity, my friend. I mean, what if some dude made $10 million by being a clown? Like, he had a clown business, and he entertained the masses. He'd make good money and all that stuff, but he'd give up his dignity, and people would lose respect for him, so he could entertain people, and he could make money. So back to the goon who has his computer science degree. Do you think this guy just magically decided, hey, I want to start fighting and get my butt kicked on live TV? No. He switched career paths because he could not stay afloat in his computer science industry. But of course, he told everybody some BS like, hey, I want a UFC fight now because I have a passion for it, and it makes me feel alive, or whatever BS he came up with. It's like, yeah, buddy, you're a loser. So check this out right here. This is that dude's net worth, Joe Lauzon or whatever, $500,000. Now, when I typed this in, I admit, I was expecting to see like at least 5 million or something like that. I mean, this guy is getting punched left and right in the skull, putting his brain health on the line for our entertainment, and he barely made $500,000? This guy is risking his life, literally. I mean, that's a loser, my friend. And he's been in the UFC for over 10 years. I mean, my neighbors across the street, they have 4 times that amount, and they've been working a 9 to 5 for the past 30 years. You know, answering phones and doing paperwork, not getting punched left and right on live TV like a punching bag. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing right there. Good lord. Some other commenter said something like, hey, a lot of UFC fighters are victims of childhood trauma, or they were bullied as a kid and it helps them cope. And it's like, yeah, That was exactly the point of my video, and you just reinforced my point there. So the bottom line is people who fight and watch the UFC are engaging in the grunt caveman activities we did millions of years ago as humans. They are just lowering themselves to make a quick buck, and they are giving up their dignity to entertain the masses because they have no other means to make the money, because they're losers. So there you have it, folks.